Recently proposed legislation like Assembly Bill 1250 put an unnecessary target on contracts with county agencies. It would impose a de facto prohibition on a county's ability to contract nonprofits, licensed experts, and community businesses to deliver vital local services.
As the world changes in healthcare, part of what contracting gives you is it completely widens your base. And so we're not just the employees in the administration of the mental health plan and substance use plan of Kern County. We also have all the knowledge and expertise of, for example, Clinica Sierra Vista. As you work with contractors, you get the benefit of all their expertise too, because they're feeding that back into your plan.
And we like to think of ourselves as being able to holistically provide services to the entire individual. And the ability to have a contract from the county and the ability to leverage our own resources and our own professional staff in the other arenas we operate in gives us the opportunity to really bring that very comprehensive palette of services to the very, very deeply needy populations that we're serving in this part of California.
Operating a locked building is something that Crestwood, does. We do it very well. Like I said, we've been in business for 50 years. And it's not an easy process. Just to find a building to actually lock is a very tedious process that our home office spends many hours, looking for.
Our county, Kern, is the third largest county at 8,400 plus square miles in California. We're bigger than several states. Our population at 885,000 plus is bigger than several states. And so the logistics of trying to be the provider across all routine services is daunting. And so logistically, it has always made sense for our county to contract several of the geographic and even some of the greater Bakersfield, which is our core city, services, so that we can logistically and flexibly cover our areas of requirement.
Those union organizations in favor of this bill say that pushing this legislation will save county jobs, that union employees could be used to fill these positions and specialized skills that are currently handled by contractors. That couldn't be farther from the truth. It is that very specialty of service and ability to hire from other regions that precludes the ability for us to build this system with only county labor.
It doesn't make fiscal sense, it doesn't make quality sense, and it doesn't make logistical sense. The fiscal cost of having to develop every line of service would be daunting, if not impossible. The quality aspect of specialty, you have service delivery systems that specialize. There's one company that specializes in crisis stabilization units. They run these very complex crisis stabilization units in multiple counties. And so you can actually contract with them to come in, and it's plug and play. They'll come in, they'll do their own recruitment, they'll get the staff lined up. It would take years to develop that expertise within a county structure if they didn't already have all of that structure to develop it and implement it.
I mean, we're such a rural county, we're so diversified. I just don't think it's realistic. I mean, even though, yes, Kern is this fantastic county and runs this wonderful, managed system, how on earth would you have all of the staff members possible and the services and the resources to be able to be out there and do the things that you would be asked to do, and to now run locked buildings and, to provide all these specialty health services and different, services that the contract providers are providing. The resources would be cut substantially.
It's very easy for us to move folks from, or to offer folks the opportunity to work in one sector, one patient population to another. So we'll have folks who come through and want to get a geriatric experience on our WISE team in Delano, and then through their practicum decide they want to work with children in a school district in the city of Bakersfield. And we're able to facilitate that as easily as a 1 or 2 week decision and arrangement between managers and the student or staff to make that change. Our folks will come from one area to another to help out where we might be shorthanded or have a particular need or impact.
One thing this misguided piece of legislation fails to take into account is the devastating impact it can have on the behavioral health system.
If it puts in place a rule or a regulation that prohibits you from even having those conversations with us, or even considering having a subcontract with us, then it might put us, at least that portion of our business, out.
And I don't know how we would expand the services that we're expanding here in Kern. I mean, because of the fact that we have so many strong contract providers in this county is what's been able to afford, Kern County Recovery Services and Bill Walker under his leadership to be able to expand this county. I mean, thinking back to where we are and where we've been and where we're going, just with the new things that are underway and the new projects, the time, the resources, the energy would not be there if the county was expected to now operate every system within the managed health care plan. It just isn't realistic.
Well, most of those services are provided to highly specialized contracted providers. So the ability to pivot and even increase those services would not exist if we didn't have those contracts.
The chilling effect it would have on county supervisors, county government, and county departments of behavioral health to be willing and interested to reach out to effective and efficient nonprofits like ourselves and to begin to do business with us, to trust us. And a lot of what I've described here this morning hopefully is indicative of the fact that we've had decades of good trust between our respective organizations. We're coming up with a cure for an ailment that really doesn't exist.
One other factor that is discussed at length is that this bill is about transparency, that it will improve the monitoring of our system and provide better assurances than we already have.
The fact is that as the plan, one thing that is never contracted out is the oversight of quality, because that is the plan's responsibility. And so we have a division called a Quality Improvement Division. And they don't just monitor our internal services, they monitor all of our services. And then, on top of that, we have a quality review system from the state called EQRO that comes in and they review us every year for quality. Not just us, all of our contracted services. And then we have the Department of Healthcare Services, DHCS, that does a triannual audit of our services. Not just the ones we provide, but they're reviewing the plan, so all of our contracted services as well. And then we have the Auditor Controller's Office that comes in and does fiscal audits of us, on top of our own audits of us and our contractors. And so the idea that somehow contractors are an inferior product line is not true.
In short, our continued success depends on the relationships between government and private contractors, relationships that have been vetted and carefully built over time to deliver the best system of care possible.
Because it takes all of us to help that client and that family member recover and move forward and be the best that they can be. And we take pride in that. We take pride in that process.
Should AB 1250 be allowed to pass, it would be devastating to our system of care. Ignore the myths. Vote no on AB 1250.